Hey everyone, and welcome to the Sci-Fi Hub. I'm Don, and I'm going to talk to you about a game you've probably heard quite a bit about over the last few months, Destiny. I had heard that this game feels a lot like a mix of Halo and Borderlands with a dash of MMO, and for the most part I would say that's pretty accurate, for better or for worse. There are 3 different classes to choose from, but so far they don't really feel all that different. I have not played very far into the game, of course, because this is an early look at the game, so that could change a bit at higher levels. You can visually customize your character by choosing either male or female of 3 different races. Each race has a number of heads that you can choose from, and 2 of the races allow you to choose the hair color and hairstyle, but for the most part the customization is not very deep. But between those choices and with the ability to recolor your armor, you should be able to avoid running across too many lookalikes. And of course this is a beta, so we don't know how much that might change with the final version. Once you've created your character and start the game, you'll notice this feels very much like a Bungie title, with the high production values, good voice acting, and narrative that you would expect from them.
Changed us forever. Great cities were built on Mars and Venus.
You're alive. You don't know how long I've been looking for you. I'm a ghost. Actually, now I'm your ghost. And you, well, you've been dead a long time.
And if you keep playing straight through the story missions, you can expect to keep getting that level of quality, with a couple of exceptions. The MMO aspect of the game can have a negative impact on the single-player missions because you're always online, and it's not known at this point if you can play offline. So you'll sometimes have enemies respawning from thin air right on top of you, and other times you'll have other players kiting a pack of enemies in your direction. All of this while you're trying to focus on the story objective. Having said that, I feel like I'm pretty much getting used to it now, so in the long run it may not be that big of a deal, but clearly there are some cases where the spawn rate is still way too high and it needs some adjustments. After you make it through your first story mission, you'll fly to a hub world where you can do things like pick up supplies, store your gear, accept bounty missions, and meet up with other players to be able to take on tougher challenges. It's here that it feels most like an MMO, with other players running around doing silly emotes, chatting, trading, all the usual stuff. When you're in this hub world, known as the Tower, you can move to orbit at any time to take on various mission types such as the aforementioned story mode, and also exploration and striker modes. The exploration mode feels very much like an MMO in the sense that you'll move around the game world and accept various missions at different points on the map, although in this case, the mission givers are just glowing beacons. These missions generally involve collecting so many shards dropped by enemies or accessing a computer guarded by enemies. It's not exactly an imaginative game type, and they definitely took a page out of the MMO playbook for this one, but this game type is entirely optional, and I find it fun to do once in a while when I don't feel like doing a story mission or I don't have a whole lot of time. Outside of the story missions, I feel that this game being online all the time has actually been a pretty good thing. I've had quite a bit of fun with just joining up with random players and taking on challenges that pop up around the map. These challenges range from simple shooting galleries to some very tough enemies that will take some real teamwork to take down. It's a great feeling when you beat a tough challenge with a bunch of strangers, and you're usually rewarded with a good amount of experience points for your effort. Well done! Skill progression feels kind of like a light version of Borderlands in that you don't progress as quickly and you don't have as many choices when you do level up, though many of the skills you acquire have a fairly significant impact on the game. Like Borderlands, you'll find a lot of the weapon drops you come across are only slight variations on weapons you may already have, but unlike Borderlands, those weapon drops are far more rare. I find this to be a good thing for the most part because with Borderlands I got a little tired of sifting through every weapon I came across and I couldn't help myself. I felt like I needed to check the pros and cons of each and every weapon, and I got kind of bogged down by it. With this game, drops are more rare, but they're often more meaningful. Be sure to join me for my next video where I talk about combat in Destiny, and what I think is great about it, and what could use some improvement. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.